Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today I bring you a unique one, guys. Not often do I do skilling related loot videos, but today I bring you a farming related one, none other than loot from 1000 Toadflax seeds. And the gear for this video was just this set of full graceful as well as the sectors and the 99 farming cape. The inventory was just all the Toadflax seeds as well as the bottomless compost bucket, the Ecto file, the R.D. Cloak 4, as well as the Explorer's Ring 4, and at the bottom of the inventory we had the construction cape, a spade, and the seed dibber. Now all these seeds were bought at the Grand Exchange price for a total of 1.245 mil, so rounding down just about 1.2 mil. And the goal for this video was to see just how many herbs and just how much profit we can make from all of these 1000 Toadflax seeds using all of the patches in the game, as well as having all the diaries unlocked so that the boosts and all the perks can be acquired and used, which is why I use the alternate account instead of my main or my Iron Man account, because I am sure it'll be a while before I finish all the diaries on those two accounts. I really was curious of the profit potential that I could make just from farming, and I did ask around before I started this video, and most people that I talked to told me that Toadflax at this point in time was the best herb to plant for profit. But in the past and in the future, I'm sure that is subject to change, as prices can change for numerous reasons over time. And if you guys do enjoy this video, maybe we can do more farming related or just skilling related videos in the future, so make sure to let me know in the comment section below. And also feel free to check out the description if you are curious about GE Tracker. I was actually using that for this video to help me follow the price of these Toadflax seeds and herbs. Really useful graphs on there among many other things, and that link below does support me, so feel free to check them out. 100% related to Old School RuneScape, and you might learn something that you never knew before. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Now, as you've probably seen on screen by now, as I was just rambling for the past 2 minutes, I was just doing a first time herb run at every single location in the game. Since this account does have everything unlocked, all 9 locations, which are the one south of Falador, and you do get 10% XP increased after the medium Falador diary. There's also a patch west of Port Phasmatis, one north of East Arty, also north of Catherby, which I think is the most popular in the whole game, and you can get 5, 10, and 15% extra yield with medium, hard, and elite Kandarin diary. There's also a disease-free patch in Trollheim upon completion of My Arms Big Adventure, and on top of that there's one in the Hasidius house near the Xerix Glade teleport. It's disease-free with 50% Hasidius favor, 5% extra yield with hard Corrend and Kebo's diary. There's also another herb patch on Harmony Island once you complete the Elite Mortania diary, so that's a big one. And there is a disease-free patch in Weiss upon completion of Making Friends with My Arm. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of that. And the last and final one is the tier 2 of the farming guild, requiring 65 farming, and you do receive 5% of an extra yield with the hard Corrend and Kebo's diary. Now that's actually the one thing that I didn't have on this alternate account, was the Corrend and Kebo's diary complete, so you know, it's not a big deal, but it is important to keep in mind that I may have received a little bit more herbs at the very end had I completed that beforehand. So yeah, there's tons of herb patches in the game, and it's really just up to you on how many you want to get unlocked. If you're a low-level Iron Man, you know, don't expect to get all of those patches unlocked right away. Even if you're a main, you know, a lot of that stuff requires diaries and quests, among many other things. So, you know, it does take a little bit of time to get to the point where you can unlock every single patch in the game. But even if you can just do maybe 3 or 4 patches, which personally I'm 85 farming on my Iron Man, and I've only ever done 4 herb patches on that account, so you don't have to do all of them to, you know, obtain a lot of herbs over time. It's really all up to your preference. And as you can see in this inventory, we did have a total of 18 Toadflax just from one patch, which actually wasn't the record for this video. You will see that a little bit later on. And since the magic sectors that we were using will increase the herb yield by 10% on top of the farming cape, which would increase it by 5%, we did have a 15% increase every single time that we would do a herb run. So yeah, having 99 farming, and of course just unlocking those magic sectors, which is a quest item in Fairy Tale Part 1 and is really easy to obtain. So yeah, if you do have either or both of those items, then you will receive more herbs every time you go to pick them. And there were a few occasions where my herbs did become diseased, then I would just quickly go to the leprechaun and retrieve my plant cure, and right away they would be back to normal. That really didn't happen too often. I think throughout the whole video that either happened dropping like 4 to 6 times, so not too much at all. Obviously, transportation is a big thing, and if you go back to the very first clip, you will see how I did my rotation, you know, what teleports I used and whatnot. Having an ornament pool, you know, to give you back your energy as you're running and teleporting to so many different of these patches around the game will definitely come in handy. It's really all about what you have unlocked and what teleports you can use and what the fastest route for you is. I will have the link to the wiki of the herb patches in general in the description below. That'll tell you pretty much all you need to know about what is the fastest route to use to get to the herb patch that you want to use, you know, whether it be all of them or just some of them. And of course, how can we forget about those lovely Hespori seeds, which you do get every now and again while you're training your farming up. You know, I've actually never done a loot from Hespori video. I don't even think I've ever killed it a single time on any of my accounts, so we'll have to look into that for the future. And speaking of Hespori, if you are curious as to what that bucket is, essentially it's called the Bottomless Compost Bucket, released January 10th, 2019. It can be filled up with 10,000 uses of one type of compost. Can be filled from a compost bin or from other buckets. Noted ones work as well. So yeah, it's really useful. It'll definitely pay for itself over time. And speaking of useful things for farming, feel free to check out what the Leprechaun has to offer you. You can store things in there, retrieve things from there, so it's very useful for when you don't want to go to the bank. He's got more uses than just being in the Lost City quest. And if you're curious on how long this video did take to complete from start to finish, did take me approximately 4.5 weeks. Now that may seem like a really long time, but I assure you, if you do play, you know, more than the average player, and you do your herb runs, you know, as most people do every 90 minutes or so, you can probably plant 1,000 Toadflax seeds anywhere from like 10 days to 14 days in my opinion. But for me, I wasn't really prioritizing this. I wanted to take a break from this account. Playing 3 accounts really gets tiring after a while, so I wanted to do something where all I had to do was log in for a very small amount of time and then just log out. So I really just did this video at my own pace. Certain days I wouldn't even log in, other days I would do more runs than previous. And that's the beautiful thing about farming, is that you can do it at your own pace and to your own preference, so it's really nice. But the key is, how much profit can you make from it? And that is exactly what we are going to find out. And I think by the time we get to the price check, you guys are actually going to be very surprised at how just starting with a small amount of money, 1.4, 1.5 mil tops, how much profit we can actually build that up to just by planting seeds. So I think at this point in the video, my record for most herbs farmed in one single inventory was a total of 26, which is absolutely incredible. And it was actually in that same inventory where it was my first ever time getting more than 100 noted Toadflax in a total of one inventory from all of the herb locations in the game. Took over 800 seeds just to pull off the first ever 100 stack. And just looking at the wiki, there's really not too many places in RuneScape where you can obtain the Toadflax herb. Most of the places that do give you them is actually related to the Gnome restaurant activity, where you can receive a Toadflax, or a couple Toadflaxes I should say, as a tip. And as it goes for monsters, not many drop them in the game, primarily just Zulrah. So yeah, something to keep in mind, that you know, they are kind of hard to come by, which is maybe why the price of them is so good right now and why they are so profitable to plant. They're not the best XP, and like I mentioned before, you know, it's not a great guarantee for a farming pet, but the guarantee for profit is certainly there, as you will soon see in the price check. This was actually the best run of the whole video, which was at the very end. Go figure. We got 108 Toadflax in one full herb run. And if you do like the profit that you're about to see from these herb runs, always remember that you can log in and do a bunch of daily stuff all the time to earn money in this game. Whether it's maintaining your kingdom or getting your battle staves every day, collecting your herb boxes, doing tiers of Gothics, doing birdhouse runs and herb runs, there's just so much opportunity to make money from so many different things, so never rule anything out. And if you have the money, make sure to invest in that bottomless compost bucket. We will also be factoring in the cost of all the compost that we use for this video once we get into the price check. And here we finally are, ladies and gentlemen. Loot from 1,000 Toadflax seeds complete. Did take a while, you know, just a lot of logging in really. And for the average player, I would say that this would take just about 2 weeks or so. And if you guys decide to plant Toadflax after watching this video, the only requirement is 38 farming, so it really doesn't take that much in order to do this. Alright, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. From 1,000 Toadflax seeds, starting cost of 1.2 mil in seeds and 400k in compost. Overall price check comes out to be 16.9 mil, rounded up to 17 14 mil, leaving us with just about 15.4 to 15.5 mil profit from 1,000 Toadflax seeds. And that's what you get when you do farming. You can be rewarded heavily. So make sure to take advantage of it. Make sure to check it out. If you're a PVMer, PKer, Quester, maybe do some farming on the side. You never know what might come of it. Well, that's going to be it for now, guys. I am really happy with that profit. All tracked, of course, with the link in the description. GE Tracker, an amazing website. And yeah, I should see you guys in about 2 days with a new video. You're going to be very surprised with this one, and that's all I will say. And until then, Mr. No Sleep, out.